What if I told you that the Indian community has transformed tech hubs in Germany, revitalized agriculture in Italy, and brought vibrant cultural festivals to the streets of the UK? Indians in Europe aren't just migrants, they're innovators, entrepreneurs, and cultural ambassadors. In this video, we'll explore how Indians are weaving their rich heritage into Europe's modern fabric, from building billion-dollar industries to redefining diversity in every corner of the continent. Let's go! According to the 2017 United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs report, Indian immigrants to the EU have contributed to 7.9% of its population from 1990 to 2017. This migration has contributed to the EU in very significant ways, such as the first British Indian Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak. This Indian influence extends beyond politics though. But how did it all start? Why did Indians move to Europe? A short history. The earliest recording of Indians migrating to Europe dates back to the 16th century, when many European nations were keen on colonization. The first group of Europeans to come in contact with Indians was the Portuguese, with Vasco da Gama landing in India in 1498. Along with spices, the Portuguese took people from India as slaves to Europe. The British, on the other hand, had a bigger presence in the Asian country, but they never sent slaves or labourers back to the motherland. Rather, they were sent to other British colonies scattered throughout their empire. In any case, there was no mass migration of Indians to Europe, even though there is evidence that a small handful of a couple of hundred did live there during this time. They were mainly seamen or lascars who were part of the various ship crews of different European fleets. There were also Indians from noble families who travelled to Europe to study in their schools. But the largest wave of Indians immigrating to Europe came after World War II, when most of Europe was short on labour and the local population of most countries wasn't enough to take on even the smallest of jobs like factory workers and bus drivers. Eventually, by the 1990s, there were over 80,000 Indian immigrants throughout Europe. Today, that number has quadrupled into millions, and it's interesting how these numbers have been distributed and the influences Indians have had in various European nations. The United Kingdom. The United Kingdom holds the highest number of Indian migrants to Europe with over 1.8 million Indians. Concentrated primarily in cities like London, Leicester and Birmingham, this community plays a significant role in the UK's economy, with many members excelling in business, technology and finance. Indian-owned businesses are a significant economic force. For example, in 2020, they were reported to generate a combined revenue of £36.84 billion, employ over 174,000 people, and contribute over £1 billion in corporate taxes. This data underscores the substantial economic impact of the Indian diaspora in the UK capital. But this isn't all. Indians have had a long-standing presence in UK politics, dating back to Dadabhai Naoroji, the first Indian MP elected in 1892. Today, the Indian community holds a prominent position in British politics, with 26 members of parliament elected in 2024 being of Indian origin. The Indian community has also enriched British culture through cuisine, art and entertainment. Indian food, especially curry, has become a staple in British diets, with chicken tikka masala often cited as a national favourite. Also, British Indian filmmakers like Gurinder Chadha, creator of Bend It Like Beckham, and artists such as Sir Anish Kapoor have made significant contribution to the arts in the UK. Academically, the Indian community has produced Nobel laureates like Venkatraman Ramakrishnan, the 62nd president of the Royal Society. But there are some Indians who have found fulfillment with the Dutch. Netherlands. The Indian community in the Netherlands is diverse, with approximately 235,000 people of Indian origin, including 35,000 recent Indian immigrants and 200,000 Surinamese Hindustanis, descendants of Indian labourers brought to Suriname during the colonial period. The Indian-Dutch bilateral relationship started as far back as 1947. Today, this relationship is worth several billions, with $27.582 billion made from its bilateral exchanges in 2022 to 2023. Indians in the Netherlands contribute significantly to sectors like IT, medicine and academia. The diaspora is highly educated, with many professionals working for multinational companies or starting their own businesses. Religiously, the majority of Indians in the Netherlands practice Hinduism, followed by Islam, Christianity and Sikhism. Hindu temples and Sikh gurdwaras are present in major cities like Amsterdam, Rotterdam and The Hague. Additionally, yoga and Ayurveda are popular, with numerous centres promoting these practices. But one European country that might surpass the Netherlands in terms of their Indian influence is Italy. This country owes the Indians a lot of thanks. But before we cover Italy, let's go to the 7th largest country in Europe, Germany. The Indian community in Germany has grown rapidly in recent decades, with over 260,000 Indians living in the country, whether as NRIs or PIOs, according to India's Ministry of External Affairs. The Indian community in Germany comprises a mix of skilled professionals, students and families drawn to Germany by its robust economy and high-quality education system. Germany's reputation for offering affordable, world-class education, particularly in STEM fields, has made it a top destination for Indian students. These students often transition into highly skilled sectors such as IT, engineering, and healthcare, which are experiencing labour shortages. Their technical expertise and dedication are highly valued, though challenges such as language barriers and bureaucratic hurdles can occasionally limit career advancement. Nevertheless, a major area of contribution is in the IT sector, where Indian professionals have filled critical gaps. In February 2024, over 137,000 Indians were employed in skilled jobs in Germany, representing an increase of 23,000 from the previous year. In response to these contributions, Germany has introduced initiatives to simplify visa processes, support skilled migration, and encourage further collaboration. Culturally, Indians in Germany have managed to maintain their traditions while integrating into German society. Indian festivals like Diwali and Holi are celebrated across cities such as Berlin, Frankfurt and Munich, often involving local German communities in the celebrations. Indian cuisine, yoga and Bollywood also play a significant role in fostering cultural exchange. Despite this, some Indians face difficulties with social isolation and adapting to cultural differences. To address this, Indian associations and community groups provide essential support, helping newcomers navigate German society while preserving their cultural identity. Finally, let's go to Italy. The Indian community in Italy is one of the fastest growing immigrant groups in the country, primarily driven by economic opportunities and historical ties. While their presence in Italy spans various industries, Indian migrants have become especially prominent in agriculture, where they fill critical labour gaps left by Italy's ageing population and declining interest in farm work among the youth. Punjabi Sikhs, in particular, have established a significant presence, making up to 90% of the workforce in northern Italy's dairy sector, including Lombardy, where they play a key role in producing Parmesan cheese. This group has been widely credited with sustaining Italy's agricultural economy in these regions. In the Lazio region, particularly in Latina, thousands of Punjabi Sikhs work in fruit and vegetable farming, often enduring exploitative conditions. You see, while Italy offers these job opportunities, many Indian migrants face barriers such as limited access to legal protections and language challenges. Reports also highlight issues such as low wages, excessive work hours, and harsh working environments. Additionally, Indian migration to Italy is characterized by diverse paths, including legal migration, overstayed visas, and sometimes human trafficking. Agents and intermediaries in India often facilitate these journeys, though at a significant financial and personal cost. Despite these challenges, the community has formed tight-knit networks, establishing gurdwaras or Sikh temples that serve as cultural and spiritual hubs. Aside from countries like those already mentioned, Indians also exist in many European countries, but wherever they've found themselves, they've left their mark. Indo-European influences. Politics. Indians in Europe have made significant contributions to politics, especially within the diaspora communities. For instance, in the Netherlands, the Indo-Surinamese community has produced influential figures such as Rabin Bolder-Wasing, former deputy mayor of the Hague municipality. Other prominent names include Doulatram Ramlal and Tanja Jundan Singh, who have served in the Dutch Parliament. Indian origin politicians also hold positions in countries like the UK, where they form one of the most politically active immigrant groups. The engagement of Indians in European politics highlights their growing influence in shaping multicultural policies and advocating for immigrant rights. Cuisine. Indian cuisine has gained immense popularity across Europe, with restaurants offering both North and South Indian dishes. The UK's curry houses such as Tamarind in London and the Chili Pickle in Brighton quickly come to mind here. Also, in Dutch cities like Amsterdam, there are myriads of Indian restaurants such as the Sherpa restaurant and Mount Everest Tandoori that serve traditional dishes. The diaspora continues to introduce new dishes, spices and cooking methods, often adapting them to local tastes. Home cooking, vegetarian traditions and festivals like Diwali further showcase Indian culinary diversity. Religion. Religion plays a central role in the Indian diaspora's cultural identity in Europe. Hinduism is the primary religion of the Indian diaspora in Europe. However, there are also significant numbers of Sikhs, Muslims and Christians among the Indian population. The religious practices of Indian immigrants have often blended with local customs and traditions, leading to the emergence of unique cultural expressions. For example, the Netherlands is home to several Hindu temples and several Sikh gurdwaras. Annual celebrations of Diwali, Holi and Eid are well attended by both the diaspora and local communities. These religious practices contribute to the vibrant multicultural fabric of Europe while fostering interfaith dialogue. Language. The language of Indian immigrants in Europe is largely English, especially in countries like the UK and Ireland. However, many also speak their native Indian languages such as Hindi, Punjabi, Tamil and Telugu within their communities. In recent years, there's been a growing interest in learning European languages, particularly in the context of education and employment. Basically, many second-generation Indians are bilingual or multilingual, maintaining their heritage languages while being fluent in English, Dutch, French or German. The preservation of Indian languages is supported by community initiatives such as Hindi classes in Hindu schools in the Netherlands and cultural programs aimed at promoting linguistic heritage. Indians have left an indelible mark on Europe. To stay updated on more captivating stories about the Indian diaspora, be sure to like and subscribe, and you can also check out our other videos about the Indian diaspora in America and in the Caribbean.